DIY friends. I'm so happy you're here and spending some time together with Dyanne and me. For today we have two new DIYs for you, one from Dyanne and one from me. We hope you enjoy watching. If you like this content afterwards, I hope you will consider subscribing to Dyanne and my channel and click the bell button. For now, enough talking, let's jump into our DIYs.
Hey everyone, it's Dyanne here. Are you ready for a new DIY? Today I'm going to make something with this canvas from Action. I think I almost know for sure that this thing cost me €1.50. So yeah, that is cheap. Let's open the package because they always put two into one package. But for this DIY we're only going to use one. This one, we'll put this away. There. Now, as you might know me, I like these things, especially for the wood that is in here. So what I'm going to do, first take a knife and then cut off any along the edges so you can tear off the canvas. Oops. Just like so. Okay, now we just have a really cool wooden frame. Oh, there's only one piece of canvas left here. And this really costs just, well, 75€. Now, what I want to do, I want to decorate this with burlap. I have old pieces here that I might give a new purpose. Old pieces of ribbon from AliExpress. I have small ones and I also have wider ones. I'll keep those for later because I think first I'm going to reuse these painter sticks. I've been using them for another DIY, so actually they are free, but they need a paint job, as you can see. Now, on some are even tumbling blocks, which I couldn't get off, but that's not a big deal, because I'm going to use these ones as a background for my frame. I'm just going to lay everything underneath here. Or maybe it's the best way to do this. Lay everything down here to measure if everything has the right measurement. Something like this will be okay too. Let me see how much I need. Don't have to be really precise here on the back part. I think this is enough. Yep, 2, 4, 6, 7 pieces. I think I'm just going to glue around here with my all-purpose glue, and then put a heavy object upon it. And after that, I just take my figure saw and saw along this side here. Oops, and then we can give the whole thing a paint job. So let me grab my glue and I'll be back soon. So this here is the glue and the brush. Now take this off again, shake this thing a little bit, and then I'm going to glue away, just like so. Don't put my shirt in the glue. Okay, close the cap. There we go. Now I'm gently going to brush out the glue, just like this. Maybe thick, maybe thin, depends on the quality of the glue or the wood, but I always like to use a lot so I know that everything is secured. Okay, now we are around here, a little bit more in the inside sections here and there, just like this. Okay, I think with that, yep. Good. Now I'm carefully going to put these, well, let's see, like so. Oops, don't have to press them yet that hard. Just lay them down gently. That is the good thing about using this glue. If I would be using, how do you call that, the glue gun, then I wouldn't be able to move things around anymore, since I don't want that. adjust it this way. Oh, this one doesn't seem... Alright, that was a tiny staple being a bit sturdy. There. And then the last one here. I hope that everything fits in. Not exactly. So gently push it upwards. I think we are there now. Okay, let me grab myself a heavy object, like a box or something, or a big tray. And I'm going to put it upon here and let it dry for at least 2 hours. And then I will be back when everything is dry. Okay, the whole thing is dry. Now it looks super cute, doesn't it? Of course not. I'm going to saw this thing up here. And then we get exactly as on this side, on that side, a nice even thing as well. So I'm going to get my figure saw. I have to sew somewhere else because I can't do that here, and I will be back when everything is ready. Okay, that didn't work out as planned. I sewed everything, but everything came off. Apparently the glue wasn't strong enough or didn't attach well, so I'm just going to use the glue gun then. Time. I have gray chalk paint, white chalk paint, and brown acrylic paint. This one is for the finishing distressing touch. Now let me I'm going to mix it just into a cup that I rinse off afterwards. Just slightly a little bit of gray, because I don't want to have too dark gray. And of course some white to make it a little bit lighter. There, let's see how this turns out. And you grab yourself a brush, then we start mixing. Okay, this looks like the perfect color for the job. Now, let's just start painting away. Okay, the inside part has been painted. Now I also want to paint this edge, not the top section. So I'm just carefully swiping my brush upwards. So I hope that it doesn't touch the upside. Excuse me. How? Okay, just need to re-glue that afterwards. So just like this. And then the top section will be white. I'm going to paint the rest, and then I will re-glue this one again, and then we'll do the white part. Okay, everything is reassembled again. The original white chalk paint of the stir sticks is coming peeping through, but to be honest, I don't mind because it's going to be a vintage thing. Time to paint the wood. Just use some white chalk paint for that job. I'm just going to paint like this, nice and steady, until the whole thing is practically white. Here you see the results after 2 layers of paint. I decided to pick 2, because otherwise you had really way too much colors coming through. And that looks more, yeah, it just looks better. Okay, I think we're going to distress now. Okay, distressing time. Well, first I think I'm just going to use the dark gray color. I'm going to pour it into the towel. There we go. Hopefully this will be enough, and otherwise we'll just pick some extra. You take an old brush, dab the complete brush into the paint, and then just start dabbing there. Now I put this upon this tray here, so I can easily turn it around if necessary without damaging the whole thing. I'm just going to get along the lines here first, roughly. You can do it like that, or what you also can do is just wipe. It's too much paint. Okay, there we go. Wipe up and down like that. Randomly, always try to press very light, and then if you want you can press harder. Remove or move like this, and then I will just show you close up. Do it carefully, and this is what you get. Look, a slightly wood pattern that looks distressed. Okay, I'm going to continue doing this, and then I think I also have to do the sides here, and I think just do it like this. So very lightly big movements. And then this is what you get. Okay, I'm going to continue and I will show you what it looks like after distressing. From this angle you get a better look of how distressing looks. I think it turned out really cool. Maybe some brown. So I'm just going to do the same thing with the brown paint. And here's the brown. I think just leave it this way. I love the color combination and it looks really cool. Okay, now moving forward to the next step. More paint. This is better paint than the white one that I just used upon the sign or upon the wood, which is laid here. These are the old scraps of burlap where I talked about, and I think I'm just going to paint them white. Yeah, just let's start. I do this one upon the towel because I think that is a good idea. And hopefully that it doesn't stick upon the towel, but we'll see. Let me see, where can I start? Well, just here where you can see it. Yeah, this is the good side. Okay, now I'm going to try and avoid these lines here because there is some glue upon there. And you just take a lot of paint and put quite something upon it. And then let it dry really well, because this stuff soaks up quite a lot of paint. Especially here in the places where you put your brush in for the first time. What I want to do is first paint these, and then I'm going to cut out leaves. The shape of leaves, to be honest. Okay, everything has been painted and now it needs to dry. I don't think it's a good idea to use the blow dryer here because I'm afraid that everything will curl up then, so I'm not going to do that. The twine is dry. Time to cut out leaves, and therefore just use the scissors. Okay, I never did this before, so we'll see how it turns out. How big do they need to be? Yeah, let me just make something out of it. Well, cutting goes actually pretty good, but you have to do it slowly, like this. Let's just try out if this is the shape that we want to have. Well, it's not completely straight, but it looks like a leaf. And I think this goes pretty well. Okay, so this shape will be what we need. I think we're going to cut on the back side, because then I can just easily draw around the figure that I want. So this is the ugly one, the first one. Just like baking pancakes, at least the Dutch way, the first one always goes wrong. Okay, let me draw little leaves here in the back and just cut them out. Drawing, I just use a light blue random picked, how do you call that? marker. Difficult word. Okay, let me just draw a shape. This is actually globally the idea. I think it looks pretty natural, to be honest. I didn't expect it to look so cute. Okay, time to glue them into the right position and see how it turns out then. And here it is, such a super simple DIY. The colors are beautiful in my opinion. Let me zoom in on you for the twine or the burlap. This gives a really cool effect. Just paint it, cut it out. It's easy like that. Okay, let us know what you think of this one in the comment section.
So, and before we go further to see what our next DIY will be, I have to tell you that this video is also part of a challenge which is hosted by the beautiful Yami from the Latina next door. Of course, I will place a link down below for Yami, her beautiful channel, so go check it out. And of course, I will place a link down below for the playlist with tons of beautiful inspiration for you to find. Because the challenge is the Look for Less challenge and we love Look for Less, so go check it out. And for now, let's go further to our next and second DIY. For this DIY, we need a couple of main things, and it's only what I found at Ikea is this kind of corks. You can use them for your pens, but of course you normally have the round one, and this was the first time I saw this kind. It looks a little bit like a cutting board, but then you got it from cork, if I'm saying it correct. So we need some leather stickers, and I chose a couple of ribbons. I don't know if this is really the color we were going to use, but at least this is a little bit of my inspiration. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make a sign, but not normally you see always the round signs, and this time I'm going to try to make such a sign from the pen corks from the Ikea. So this will be a little Ikea hack, but of course for a lot less than you will buy it in store. I show you now my inspiration piece. You see, this is an inspiration piece from a real cutting board, but you see, I am going to try, like I said, I'm going to try to make it from this one. Maybe you can find them also at your Ikea. At least this one was new over here, but I don't know if they are maybe already for a long time in another Ikea, but for here they were new. So we are going to try to make a nice farmhouse sign out of it. The first thing what we're going to do, of course, I totally forgot to say, these two cutting boards were $2.49 at Ikea. So this is really a bargain because you get two of them. So it will be €1.25, but in dollars it's almost the same. So it's a little bit more than $1 at a piece. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to take my tape, and I'm going to measure out a little bit where I want to have the paint or not. So I'm going to do one layer over here because I don't want to have it higher than this way. So I'm going to do first together with you, and I have to be sure that I am really at the same height. Of course you can measure it if you're not so stubborn like me when I'm going to do it out of my head, but of course you can measure it out. Make sure that the paint is not getting under your tape. So I'm going to do, and now I'm going to make little smaller layers. So I'm going to do one over here. Of course, I'm going to look if I have it a little bit of the same length, and I'm going to fold it so I get one line of paint over here. So, and I'm going to do one over here. A little bit, try to get it the same white as each other. Of course, like I said, I'm doing it, eyeballing it, but of course, if you just want to measure out, it's also fine too. I take a little risk, I know, but I'm still going to try it. So this will be paint, this will be paint, and this will be paint. So we will see if this will work out or not. So we are going to use some white chalk paint. I always have it in this kind of boxes. Of course, it's out of a container, but I always love to keep it. And this is a little bit more easier to open than a container. So I'm going to take the white color and just dab it inside of here, as long as it is totally covering your cork. So I will finish this off, and then we're going to remove the tape together. In the meantime, while our little first board is drying right now, I did some tape. I just did some a dry piece. So I just took 2 pieces of my tape, and I just did it a little bit sideways, also a little smaller piece. So this will be white, and here in between will be white. So it's a little bit different, but what did I do forget on this board is of course my stickers, my letter stickers. I'm going to write some words over here and also over here, but I should have glued it already together on top of here before I paint it. So I'm going to do this with this one already, and this one I will do later, and then go over again with the white chalk paint, because this for me works better and the letters keep better in place. So I'm going to do some words over here and over here. I have the words on top of here, and this will be happy home, and this will be welcome home. And now I'm going to give this a second coat of the white chalk paint, because or else I have nothing on my letters. So I will paint this and I will paint this, and then we are going to distress a little bit our letters. You see already how both of them turned out. Now they are painted and they are dry. So I'm going to remove the tape, and then we are going to use my, I took 2 pencils, a little bit of the brown and my black permanent marker, just to distress our letters and of course a little bit of our sign. So, but I think for now they are already looking very nice. I am really curious if my tape did hold for the paint, so we will see if we have a nice line or not. We will see. And so far so good. This is one. Now we're going to do the next one. And this one is also fine. And now of course the most important one is this one, so we will see. I hope this one is also, and you see already I have lucky that he did do his work fine. So I am really happy how this turned out, and of course we will make some greenery little display on top of it later on. But for now I am really happy how it turned out. I will do the next one, but of course if you like it, maybe I can show it to you also. This one I am a little bit worried about, because I don't know if this one and this both are going together, so I don't know if this one will be okay also. I'm a little bit worried about this one, but so far so good. And I am really lucky because this one also did go fine. And so you see, you can do with tape any shape you like. If you like more wider lines, make them wider. If you like more a little line also over here, just go ahead, do whatever you think is right. I'm going to take my black marker, and first what I'm going to do is just going a little bit, take it sideways and just going over it a little bit on the lines of your letters, just to give it little touches of the marker. I show you a little bit closer, you see, and I just always keep it sideways, or else the lining will be too thick and then you don't get the nicest letters. So I will do all of them and then I show you a little bit closer. Here you see a little bit closer how they look like when you distress it with a black marker. And I always use a simple permanent black marker. So it is, you can buy them anywhere for cheap. So I think they look already very nice. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take my brown marker and I'm going to do little pieces on top of the black lining around the letters. So I will show you a little piece what I'm going to do with my brown, and I'm just going to, where you have the black, just do little dots from the brown to give it a little bit more of a rustic look, so your letter looks a little bit more old. So just little pieces, you almost don't see it, but it just gives a nice effect on your letters. And if you imagine that these are just cardboard letters, and you have to make sure that it will look like real letters. I show it to you a little bit closer. You see just little dots with the brown. So I will do both of them and then we are almost ready to make a little display over here and a little display over here. And also here you see a little bit closer the brown. And I just little pieces, not a lot, but when you look a little bit further, you see it looks a little bit more like old rustic, at least I think so. So, but do it any way you like. What we're going to do right now, I'm going to find in my stash some greenery, and of course my ribbons we already took a little bit earlier. And now we are going to look where we can make a nice little greenery display, just to give it a little bit more of the farmhouse feeling. What I'm going to do right now, I just take this piece of ribbon, and I order always at least a lot of my ribbons on AliExpress. This is a very thick ribbon, but it doesn't has wires, and that's always hard to work with. But the first thing what I'm going to do right now is just make a nice line with my scissors, so I get a straight line. I'm going to make here, over here, I'm going to, with some Mod Podge, not with glue this time, with some Mod Podge, I'm going to do on the front on this side, and I'm going to do one line on this side. So I'll take my Mod Podge, and I know maybe some people think it's strange, but Dyanne is learned me that Mod Podge will glue so much better. So I'm going to do some Mod Podge, and of course on the sides, because I want to have it on the sides. And I'm just going to do first one piece over here and just glue it in between and just keep it in place for a moment, and then you are going to work with and make it stick over your line. So I will finish both of them off and then I show you the next step. And here you see already when the ribbon is on top of our little board, at least a cork board. And you see I have him over here. But like I said, I did it with Mod Podge, but you can do it also with some glue. For a lot of people, if you do place a little ribbon inside of here or a little bow on top of here, it is finished, because they're keeping a little bit from simple and a little bit of neutral. So you can leave it this way, but of course, a lot of you who know me, I always give a little bit more my twist on it. So for a lot of people who love seeing me doing this twist, I am going to make something over here and something over here. So I have everything ready on my table, all my greenery, a couple of lemons, my ribbons, I don't know what I'm going to use for my little display. Of course, I also don't want to do it a very expressive, at least loud. I don't know how you really call it. At least not a whole bundle of my on my sign. So I'm going to do first one together with you. So I have a couple of branches, old branches. You can find them outside, and I already cut a couple of them in 2 pieces. So I have 4 pieces. I am going to use my glue gun, and what I'm going to do first is I'm going to lay one over here, one over here, one over here, and one over here. Make a little in the middle, they come together, but try to get them a little bit wider so you get a nice, I show you in a moment. It's better than you hear me listen to my English. So I'm just going to do some glue, and I'm just going to lay it down. And try to get it the way it's going to move around. Of course, this one a little bit over here, and just glue it on top of your middle of your display. You don't call it display, in the middle of your cork, just how you call it. I'm going to do a little bit over here. Later on you won't see the glue anymore. So I know you see already it's standing up a little bit, and I'm going to do the smaller one. And it's so nice because you can use everything you find outside and still wait until it is totally dry. I know with my glue gun it is very fast drying. So I'm going to use this brand. I'm sorry, I'm totally blinding you. You see, I will cut off my first stem and just cut it in between. Now I have one loose, and I'm going to do some glue over it and just stick it inside of here, a little bit on top of here. I will do the other one. I have 2 pieces, and I'm going to do some glue also over here. And you see, just lay it in between. What I'm going to do, I'm going from the next pieces I still have laying around, get off your little pieces of greenery, cut out the ends, and of course you can use any greenery you like. I use this one, but I saw videos from a Dollar Tree. They have the most beautiful greenery, so go ahead and just find your greenery because they have so much to offer. Here in the Netherlands is a little bit less because I don't think a lot of people use a lot of greenery. So here is the variety a lot less than you have. So this one over here on top of there, and now we're going to do one under the, you see, I'm just going to work it and push it under, so this way. Now I have a really piece of boxes. This was a garland, and I just took it apart and just made a couple of the branches, and of course just glue it also again in the middle. Again, lay it down and just glue it together. Be careful you don't burn your hands, and use such fun. You have fun a kind of fingers you can do from the latex or rubber fingers over your hand, so you don't burn yourself. So this way, and just keep it in place. And I'm going to do the other side, and then we're going to do the middle. I did both sides, and you see now how he is looking like. And you see also already that I did go a little bit to, for you the left side, and for me the right, it is the right side. So you see already I did have to go a little bit this way, so I have to work with my lemons to give the attention a little bit more to the left side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to glue my lemon, little bit of glue on top of here. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to place it this way and just keep it in place for a moment until it's dried. And of course I'm going to do the other one on the other side. And just place it over here to get the feeling a little bit that it's more in the middle. And of course we have to fill it up with some greenery, or else it looks very strange. But you see, it's every time a little bit of a puzzle to get your greenery in the place you want it to have. But never encourage yourself. Just like Olivia from Romantic Home always say, give yourself grace. And she is so right. Give yourself grace. It doesn't matter. Just go forward, and you eventually it will turn out okay. So just put some extra greenery inside of your piece, and you will see everything will fall into place. And just wait a second. I take a little piece of the white flour again and just cut off the top, and also glue it in the middle. Also in the middle between your lemon. I always doing something. There's really no rhyme or reason what I'm doing. I just always squeeze everything in, and it doesn't matter what greenery. I still also have here some pieces of lambs here. You also can do a little piece, just cut off a little part of and you also can place it over here. Just do 2 pieces. Most of the time it's a little bit nicer to do 2 pieces. Just cut it off, glue it together, and just fill it in under here, and you also have a nice little display. So don't let yourself discourage because one piece is a little bit to the left or to the right. Just squeeze in another greenery and you will be fit to go again. So I will do a couple of lamps here and a couple of over here, and then I show you for this sign, and of course for the other one, the finished result. Because before we go to the result, I just needed to show you also this one. And what I'm going to do, I totally think it's nice if you have branches from outside left over, just do a little piece of your glue on the tops and just place them inside of your display. Doesn't matter where, just place it in and keep it for a moment. So your display of your little arrangements comes more to life. I show you in a moment. So you see, you just stick it in, and I take another one. I do in each sign, I will do 3, and just make a little place and just squeeze it in. Wait for a second and let it dry. And the last one, and these are just easy branches from outside. So I'm going to squeeze this one over here and just keep it in. And you see already now it gives even more kind of coming to life again. So I'm going to do a little black ribbon over here. I keep it simple. And now I really show you the end result of both of our lemon signs. And this is the finished result of our 2 cork signs, and I know these are just 2 coasters from Ikea, so I hope you can find them in your Ikea store if you have one in your neighborhood. In a moment I show you a little bit closer how both of them turned out, but for now, thank you so much for being here and spending some time together with Dyanne and me. We are so thankful for that. So Thank you. If you like this content, I hope you will consider subscribing to Dyanne and my channel. So click the red button and the bell button so you will be notified every time we upload a new video. Enough talking. We wish you all a beautiful day, and now I show it to you a little bit closer.